The Indian couple whose children were sent to foster care are now locked in a divorce battle. The father of the children, Anurup Bhattacharya, is now alleging that his wife has serious psychological problems. He says this was concealed so that he could get the custody of the children. Sources said Anurup has alleged that his wife attacked him over the weekend and he will be seeking separation from Sagarika. Headlines Today has also got a copy of the dossier filed in the Norwegian court which details Sagarika's psychological problems. The couple had lost the custody of their children in May 2011. Sources have told Headlines Today Anurup is seeking a divorce. He's already moved out of his house after this latest fight with his wife. The children have been a subject of a diplomatic tussle between India and Norway. 2 Indian diplomats have been rushed to Norway for the custody hearing of the children on the 23rd of March. Their uncle, Arun Abhas, who is seeking custody, has reportedly said that the children are doing better in foster care than they were with their parents. So that's the latest twist in this tale. Anurup Bhattacharya has agreed with the Child Welfare Service views that his wife Sagarika suffers from psychological problems. After this spat on the 19th of March, Anurup Bhattacharya claims he's left the house. He is now filing for divorce. Anurup claims that Sagarika is very violent. He's accused her of having serious psychological problems. He says she shouts a lot and physically attacks him. Sagarika allegedly threatens to commit suicide often and is extremely unstable. The Norwegian authorities have also reported her mental difficulties. Anurup says his wife is immature, depressed and anxious. But this can have far-reaching consequences on the children and the custody battle. Headlines Today asks, why did Anurup Bhattacharya remain silent for so long? Why is Anurup now openly criticizing and defaming his wife? Is this Anurup Bhattacharya's strategy to get custody of their children? Have the parents thought how this entire drama will affect the 2 young kids?
This is a story the entire nation has followed over the last several weeks. The custody battle of Indian parents in Norway, their children forcibly taken away from them. 72 hours before a crucial verdict, the husband has now let it known that he is having serious problems with his wife. He's moved out and he's now seeking divorce. What impact does this have on the hearing which is on in the Norwegian courts? Are these kids better off in the foster care in Norway? Should they still be brought back? That's the center stage debate, and for the first time we have with us the Stavanger University Hospital Psychiatric Department Child and Youth Psychiatric Unit report. This is the report which was hidden from the Indian public so far. This report enumerates what the problems with the family were and why the kids were taken away from them in the first place. And they make some very, very crucial points. But before I do that, I want to introduce our guests for the show this evening. K.C. Singh, former Secretary of the Ministry of External Affairs, very strong views on this subject. Dr. Sandeep Vohra, Senior Consultant Psychiatrist at Apollo Hospital. Meenakshi Lekhi, divorce lawyer, advocate in the Supreme Court. But Sandeep Vohra, now we have this report. While it gives us a very detailed insight on what the problems were with the mother, why the kid was taken away, the fact is that this information was withheld from the Indian public that's been following this story. All our viewers would have wanted to know this, and conveniently the father, just a few hours before the hearing, lets it be known that this is the problem and he's actually got a divorce case that he wants to launch against the wife.
Rahul, I'm shocked because I have myself talked to both the parents live on another channel, and I asked the first question to them when the nation was really looking at it very, very seriously. I said this report which we are getting is very sketchy, and tell me the facts. has there been any problem between both of you? He said no. I said, has the mother behaved abnormally? He said no. I'm shocked at his way of, revealing information at this juncture, one. Second, I am slightly surprised at the Norwegian authorities report also. I have somebody who has 105-degree temperature at my home and he is throwing things. It is my duty to see to it that fever is resolved, or I am going to take away the kids who are being targeted. It is very, very surprising for me that they are looking at the child but not the mother. If the mother is having these issues, we are living in 21st century, these are all treatable disorders. Simultaneously, besides looking at the children, it was the duty of the psychiatric unit to evaluate the mother thoroughly and start the treatment. Why this has not been started, I don't know. So, assuming the mother was also having some problem, which the way it has been explained could be depression or bipolar disorder or anything else, including adjustment disorder. We don't know. Or from my point of view, it is really very sad state of affairs. We don't expect somebody from India, where all the media, everybody from the Indian perspective is seeing it and is sympathetic towards the family, and the husband does like this. I am shocked because he is going to compound the problem of his wife, of his children's mother if he wants to divorce her, but it is his duty to see to it that the mother is treated also. Why this report does not mention anything clinically as per the ICD-10 or DSM-4 criteria?
No, but does this, let me ask you a simple question. Does this jeopardize the future of the children?
Absolutely, absolutely. It jeopardizes the future of the children, and it has definitely, already they are separated. It is going to have really severe psychological impact it can have, unless until we try to look for some sort of resolution in which the children are brought on either the side of the husband or wife.
That the kids must come back to India. The Indian kids, religion, nationality and culture are important. Despite the divorce twist, they must be in India. Dr. Vora, do you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think definitely whatever said and done, there have been cultural issues, cultural gaps, and there is definitely I would say difference in the way the kids are brought up in India vis-a-vis Norway. The other thing is, I personally feel maybe the father feels he doesn't want to leave Norway, and he feels by twisting it like this, he'll be able to take the custody of the children, and maybe he would like to continue there. So, from my point of view...
No, but you got an uncle over here who's saying that the kids are so happy in Norway, I don't know how much support I'll get in India. He's saying that the kids are doing well. The impression was that these kids have been forcibly taken away from the parents, and that they're...
father's side.
Uncle is on the father's side. Yes, absolutely. Uncle is on father's side and he can say anything, and I think this is the best way for us is to actually bring the children to India, let the Indian courts decide and let them follow a proper procedure from an Indian cultural perspective. I think that is the only way to give justice to these two children.
Okay. I also want to now put the next question. The fact that the mother is now being targeted, and what possibly happens to the mother. The husband is very clearly making it seem that he's got problems with the mother. The mother, if indeed she's got bipolar disorder, indeed if she has mental health problems, the mother too needs to be treated.
Absolutely.
Dr. Vora.
Yeah. So from my perspective, I would say that of course whatever is written here and whatever the facts can be verified by directly talking to the people concerned, taking the inputs from all the people who matter in this couple's life, and simultaneously if we feel that the mother is having some sort of emotional instability, we have to treat that by understanding the depth of the problem, whether it requires some medical management. If it is a medical disorder like bipolar mood disorder or depression, it is treatable in 70 to 80% cases with counseling and medicines if required. So depending on the depth of the problem, the mother also requires help. We have to see from that perspective. Simultaneously, the children also require help. Whatever the report also says that the male child shows some developmental delays. That means the mother was coping up with the child who was slow learner.
No, the report over here, which I have in my hands from the University Hospital at Stavanger, says the kid has autistic features.
Absolutely.
Development disorder and interaction difficulties with the mother.
So such children require very, very careful handling. They can get irritated very fast. The threshold of the person who's looking after has to be different. The children have to be handled in a very different way. So from my side, I would say the children have to be brought here, and the mother and the father, if possible, should be counseled, and whosoever requires treatment should be given the treatment, and Indian system can actually do justice to
Okay, I know. Dr. Sandeep Vora?
You can't allow these kids
to live in Norway.
Some would say
Can
that
you?
they're better off in Norway. Meenakshi Lekhi says bring them back to India.
No.
Let the Indian courts
I don't think it's
decide.
only material
See.
concern which matters.
See, I personally feel the technicalities and the ways, I am not expert of that, how they will be brought. But from psychological perspective, if you ask me, the best way is to bring the children in our country and then let the Indian courts decide about the custody. Because that is the way we can give justice to the children. How they will be brought, where they will be kept. I think if somebody takes serious interest, all these things can be done under the supervision of a court. But the fact remains that unless until they are brought here, both the sides are understood, the father's family side, the mother's family side, the mother's actual health problem is understood. See, somebody who was well adjusted in India goes back to Norway where there is so much of darkness and sunlight is much less, can actually have the first episode of depression in their lives. Why this has not been mentioned? Why have they not compared it with Indian settings? I think Norwegian country, the people there are evaluating something purely under the basis of assumption that they are like any other Norwegian family. So I think all these things have to be looked by Indian psychiatrists, Indian psychologists, and only then we can do justice to this children.
Do you agree with Meenakshi Lekhi? Do you think that's the best approach?
No, I'm agreed with half of what she's saying. It's a custody battle that should be sorted out here. But the problem only is you sort it out, leaving the children there, and then bring the children after that, rather than displacing them,
again,
traumatizing them again, not knowing where they go, with whom they live. Settle it. They can stay another 2 weeks wherever they are. What is the problem? Let the custody battle be settled.
Let the case be resolved here and then bring the kids back instead of dislocating them again and again.
Absolutely. I think this seems to be more practical approach, because ultimately we are going to get the judgment as per the Indian culture, Indian perspective can be put, and we can do justice to the children.
Well, you've heard from 3 different expert voices. There are no easy answers. There's a startling twist to the Norway custody row. We'll track this story very, very closely, but as always, we don't tell you what side to take. We let you decide. A viewer must decide whether it's best for the kids to be brought back to the country. Are they happier off in a foster care home in Norway? The uncle says they're doing well over there. And has the husband been irresponsible by leaking reports he's had for several months, just hours before this very crucial hearing in the Stavanger court? To all my guests for joining me on the center stage debate this evening, thank you very much.